but Hugh will be here tomorrow, and you can bet he'll have plenty of stories for us. We love you, Hugh.
I think we
Wednesday. I'm sorry, Wednesday.
We need a new hashtag. When you meets Tebow, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So he looked good too, by the way.
Yeah.
In his Sunday best.
Really good.
All right, let's go to college football, sort of, kind of, because it might pertain to the NFL. Robert Griffin III looked terrific against Skips, Oklahoma Sooners. Sorry about Oklahoma's second loss of the year. Brought Baylor back and just looked marvelous in the process. And all along, NFL analysts are saying, look, this is a shoo-in that Andrew Luck is the can't miss. You know, if Indy decides to go quarterback and if they're the team that's on the clock, they've got to go with him. Would you take Griffin III over Andrew Luck?
Before I unveil my full answer, let me just defend Andrew Luck for a minute. Coming into this season, really all we could do is nitpick him each and every week because he came in with such hype as the in-question person that was going to win. He was the front runner for the Heisman. His decision to come back and play another season. When you're in that position, the only thing that's going to happen is people are going to find reasons to go against you every week, or reasons to say, oh, well, he doesn't do that right. So he really could go nowhere but down.
And that happened to Jake Locker.
Yeah, it did. It happens to a lot of guys when they come back. When you extend that time, while it may be a great decision and your fans may love you for it, you're also putting yourself at risk that people will find more things wrong with you. And I think that's what's happening to him.
Yeah.
That being said, yes, I would take Robert Griffin III over him, and I'd probably take Matt Barkley too, because that's what's been interesting to me about this entire quarterback debate, if you will, in college, is that I think those guys were put in a position where their ceiling raised. If you're Robert Griffin, nobody knew a whole lot about him, I would say, nationally coming into the season, and so he showed that he is just as much of a big-time quarterback prospect, probably as much as Andrew Luck. Same thing with Matt Barkley. I think people felt like he was going to be a pro quarterback at some point, but he's even raised his level even higher. He was sensational against Oregon. So I think those guys were always at the advantage of having a place to go up, and Andrew Luck only could go down.
All right. Well, what did I tell you in our meeting this morning?
Well, you did say
I laid it right out.
You laid it right out. You
walked
said
right in the door, and I said I would take RG3 over Andrew Luck. And I've been leaning that way for several weeks, but I wanted to see him against my Sooners. They're not great on defense, but they're pretty good on defense. And they really shut down Texas and Kansas State and Florida State at Florida State. They do have some NFL guys on defense. He destroyed my Sooners. I didn't feel bad about it because he was just too good. 479 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and no picks. Didn't even come close to a pick. And I love the way he operated. I loved his poise. He has brazen confidence, and I mean that as the highest compliment. After the game, Aaron Andrews asked him, you know, how big an upset was this? Because Baylor's never beaten Oklahoma in like 25 tries.
Right.
He was like, upset? This wasn't any upset.
He expected it.
Dead serious about it. And he has a big arm. He is a better deep thrower, I think, than even a short thrower. He's a pretty good short thrower. And he has Michael Vick speed that he does not like to use. He is a pocket passer first of all. Yeah. He wants to throw it. He can move and throw it if you get, and Oklahoma got it, they were all over it in the first quarter. He can duck and dodge, and if you dare him to run, it will take your breath away, because he also had 98 yards rushing and 2 big runs in the last drive, in which in 51 seconds he went 80 yards for the winning touchdown, which was an incredible roll left, throw right, lob pass into the far corner of the end zone. This kid is gifted. This kid has high character, high quality NFL potential. I would bet on him as a franchise quarterback. He's at least a top 5 pick to me, but I would take him now.
You rarely give that kind of praise.
And it's very strong praise, and the amount of praise that Andrew Luck has gotten has been incredibly strong across the board. But what happens is there's so many steps that take place between now and the draft. We've got more college football to play, and then you have your initial draft board. But GMs, they're worried about the season right now. Head coaches, they're worried about the season right now. You're going to get all that information in. You're going to look at it as a staff. You're going to go through countless interviews, the combine, the bowl game. So much is going to change between now and draft day that guys that we're not even talking about are going to be up in the top part of the first round. And guys that we think are sure top 10 lock picks, they're going to drop to the second round. And it's just so hard right now to say who is where. because you haven't been able to do the level of research you need to do to make that determination.
73% of his passes he's completed. That is sensational.
We have seen quarterbacks out of the Big 12
I agree.
have put up those numbers. Sam Bradford, Colt McCoy.
Yeah, but this kid's different. He doesn't have the purest motion, but it gets where it's supposed to. He's deadly accurate. And I will also say this: he's about 6'2". They list him at 6'2", so he's not the tallest guy, but he's 220, so he can pack a punch if he needs to and stay healthy that way.
A little bigger than Vic, and that never hurts.
It never hurts.
All right, we talked about this in the first hour of the program, and we're going to start our second hour with it again, because we can confirm now. Lovie Smith has confirmed that it is a broken thumb for